get started, I must let you know that this is for educational purposes only. I'm neither a registered broker nor an investment advisor. Here's the disclaimer. I'll be right back. Hello. This is Norecia. It is Monday, January 25th, 2021. I just wanted to pop in here. I've been receiving numerous texts regarding GameStop, so I figured I'll just do a video on it and give you my thoughts. So I came up with a topic, why a trailing stop is your friend. Okay, so this is GameStop. I'm going to screenshot it so that I can actually write on it. All right. So this is where we are today. Oops. Make sure my pencil is working. Okay. This is where we are today. That's the candlestick for today. The entry, and people always say, well, what would have been the entry? See all these moving averages sitting one on top of the other? When you see the 10 start to pull away like this, so anything around here would have been an entry. Hi, that's fine. You didn't catch it. It wasn't anything to actually catch. It's, you're not going to catch everything. Okay, so it's not like, oh, Norecia, I didn't catch it. Why didn't I catch it? It's no need for all that. Okay, if it didn't come up in your filter, there was a reason. And let's continue. So on Friday, this happened here. Big gap up. This is where GameStop opened today. The top right here. This is the open. This pen is not doing the best job. Okay, so this was the open. This right here is the high for today. Right there. That's the high. So sometime between when it opened and it hit the high, it went up. I don't know what it was because it wasn't even on my radar. But I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. What I do when things like this happen, and trust me, I love when days like this happen, especially if I was already in from around here. The first thing I do, oh, you jumped so high? Okay, I don't want to lose anything, but I want to capture my profits as much as I could. What I do because that was a big jump from, let's say, about 65 to 95. So that's like a $30 jump in the open period right here. Between right here. Oops. I want to make sure I'm clear with what I'm saying. This pen is not working with me. Let me erase this. Between here and the open, that's $30. So out the whole, you wake up this morning, market open, $30 up. Now that's a big jump. Even if I have like $5-10 up, especially if it's an overnight something that I didn't expect it to move so quickly. Those big jumps, I set a trailing stop. Okay? So what the trailing stop would have done, was on its way up. Let me change the color. It would have tracked it on its way up. So we up by $30 here. And I would have set a stop saying, listen, if it starts to drop more than even $5, take me out the trade. This is without me having to monitor or just doing anything or being nervous about it and getting a stroke when it starts to turn on me. So my trailing stop would have been going up. And what happens with a trailing stop? If I set my trailing stop here, a $5 trailing stop, it's not saying that if it goes up $5 that you're going to trigger me out. It's saying that if it dropped, and that's just an example, if it dropped by $5, then it will take me out which would still keep me within my profit because I already made the money from here. Okay? So as it goes up now, let's say it went up to 120. Now, if it dropped down to 115, it would trigger me out. Let's say it goes up to 130, right there. Because the trailing stop, what it does is it keeps trailing the stop. So if it went up to 130, then at 135, when it starts to turn around, it would trigger you out. Okay? Same thing. Went up to 150. At 145, it would have triggered you out. So let me clear this up a little bit. So all of this now, after you see all of this now, we're seeing that, we're seeing now that the whole thing just basically turned around. While it is still a profit, somewhat, we still want to make sure that we're able to capitalize. Let me get this off, delete screenshot. We still want to be able to make sure that we can capitalize off of big gaps and unexpected increase in your profits so that you can be able to just hold on to a lot of it. Okay? And that is why I am always preaching to the traders, my students, that the trailing stop is your friend. The role of a trailing stop is to help you to preserve your profit. Now, when it kept going up, that was not a time for you to buy. Okay? That's sometimes if you miss an entry, you miss an entry. You'll miss an entry on one trade, but you'll catch it on another trade. You're not going to be able to catch all of the entries. So it's okay if you weren't in GameStop. I wasn't in it. I traded it prior to that, but I wasn't in this. And of course I would have made more money if I had stayed in a little longer, but I like to take my profits and move on to another trade. Okay, in this case now, look at what's happening now. Let me screenshot it again. Look at what's happening now. We have a huge, what was green in the beginning is red now. Okay, and some people are sitting down watching their profits just drop and drop and drop, and there was absolutely no need for this. A trailing stop is your friend.